What's going on, everybody? So I wanted to make a video on this because everyone's been talking about it. This was announced earlier yesterday, around last night. And this is an article I decided to, because there's a lot of different articles out there, but I decided to choose this one because this is an article that's basically kind of explaining what I originally thought also when I first read the news. Cartoon Network is not dead, says Warner Brothers, but its future is uncertain. So for those of you that don't know what happened yesterday, Warner Brothers Animation and Cartoon Network have now been merged. They're now under one division. So this logo you're seeing here of Cartoon Network Studios. So if those of you who remember the old classic, after a Cartoon Network show would end, you'd get the Cartoon Network Studios logo that would open up, and you'd have characters from the certain show interacting, like their storyboard, drawing versions of themselves, interacting, and then it would close down, back to Cartoon Network Studios. So that is no more, but doesn't mean Cartoon Network itself is dead. But let's go ahead and read this article. On Wednesday, Warner Brothers TV Group laid off 82 staffers across scripted, unscripted, and animation divisions, a Warner Brothers representative confirmed to Polygon. The company will leave 43 of the current unfilled positions empty, while the three brand labels Warner Brothers Animation, WBA, Cartoon Network Studios, CNS, and Hanna-Barbera Studios, Europe, will remain extinct. WBA and CNS development and production teams will be brought under one division. According to Deadline, Warner Brothers has also stepped back on its initial decision to shutter the Warner Brothers Television Workshop, which was designed to foster new talent and provide a pipeline that many in the animation industry have cited as invaluable in helping marginalized creators break into a highly competitive field. The workshop will be moved to Discovery's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Unit. These changes at Cartoon Network Studios come at a time when some of its cartoons have already become harder to track down and watch. The cuts also arrive on the heels of Discovery's acquisition of Warner Media from AT&T. HBO Max and Discovery Plus are set to become one streaming service in 2023. After taking over in April, CEO David Zaslav, who previously ran Discovery, pledged to cut $3 billion from the company, and he's taken an aggressive approach to get there. Zaslav has made good on the promise, and mainly in the area of the genre entertainment. In August, Discovery laid off 14% of HBO Max staff and canceled the Batgirl movie. Later that month, beloved cartoons were yanked from HBO Max, blindsiding the cartoon's creators. Dozens of Sesame Street episodes were taken off the streaming platform, and other shows were totally removed, including fan favorite OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, as well as Infinity Train, which ran for 4 seasons and is no longer airing on Cartoon Network. It can luckily still be found on other streaming services. Other shows like Summer Camp Island and Victor and Valentino still air on Cartoon Network, even if you can't find them on HBO's streaming service. According to Variety, output will remain the same following WNA and CNS consolidating, but the response from animation industry denizens and pundits has not been as optimistic. Cartoon Brew declared the studio gone, which inspired pushback from a Cartoon Network staffer. Actually, that's very interesting. Let me look at this. Where does this lead me? Twitter. Shame on Cartoon Brew for spreading panic. These are decisions that affect real people, studios, and jobs, and it seems like you're concerned with crafting a story with the most sensationalized, inaccurate versions of events. So, basically, Cartoon Brew... Wow, there's a whole argument going on here. You're entitled to disagree, but the story is a factual report of their internal corporate statement with deeper context provided based on the company's recent actions. It is an accurate report and we stand by it 100%. I worked there, you can stand by whatever you'd like, but you sensationalizing it and guiding people to extrapolate that Cartoon Network Studios is basically dead is really shitty, especially for those of us who still have a job there to do better. Ooh. That's not what the article says. We discussed WD's strategic realignment of Cartoon Network Studios. Merging the studio's development and production team with the parent company is a move that will have far-reaching and long-lasting consequences. We, like you, are hoping it works out for everyone. CNS exists in name only, is what you said. Also, the less original shows, more reboots, is the opposite of what the article says. CNS equals original. WB equals beloved IP. It says right there in the article, if that's what you're going off of. Everyone focused on layouts. Name only, okay. CNS development production. I'm sorry, guys. We're going off track. I'm just curious. You love a little bit of drama, huh? Programming, casting, legal, business affairs, and artist relations are merged with WBA now. That's a fact. It was announced yesterday. The studio, however, retains its name. Honestly perplexed by what you achieve and telling people there's a story wrong when it's actually accurate. We're communicating with the corporation said yesterday and the potential ramifications of an unprecedented move. It doesn't look like that other guy replied. Anyways, so it does seem that Cartoon Network Studios might actually still be around. See, this is the thing: is everyone's freaking out about about this stuff, guys? Nobody knows right now. Nobody knows what's going on. Even people who work there have no idea what's going to happen. I'm going to try to see if I can talk to a friend of mine who's got insight into the company. But so far, nobody knows what the heck's going on. So I wouldn't be too afraid, but at the same time, I wouldn't be, not afraid. I wouldn't be taking anything too seriously. That's just me personally. Okay, anyways, where were we? Cartoon Brew declared the studio is gone, which Polygon spoke to a Warner Brothers representative who said that Cartoon Network Studios is not disappearing and that it still has many projects in development. The real question is how this joint division will set its priorities, which more or less depends on what viewers actually watch and what the company deems profitable. Mostly digging into each respective animation studio's back catalog heightens the differences between the two over the years. A difference many of us who grew up watching and obsessing over Cartoon Network's various cartoon blocks could easily identify, even before the consolidation and layoffs. It's hard to know how these two studios will come together, especially after these layoffs have left so many talented employees jobless. Warner Brothers Animation created some real gems, especially in the 1950s and 60s, including Tom and Jerry, Wile E. Coyote, and Roadrunner, the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and of course Looney Tunes. But over the years, WBA has hewed to this familiar formula, more or less rehashing its classic IPs and airing them on Cartoon Network. As a kid, I tuned in to watch versions of Scooby-Doo, Looney Tunes, and Tom and Jerry. As an adult, I can still watch these identical characters, and not just through reruns. While Warner Brothers Animation imprint feels emblematic of the past, Cartoon Network Studios has produced significant and groundbreaking shows over the course of time that have also stood the test of time. That was a cool sentence there. Yes, there are reboots, notably of Cartoon Network's incredibly popular late 90s and early 2000s series like The Powerpuff Girls and numerous iterations of Ben 10, but there are also bangers. That's interesting that a Polygon article used the word bangers. Interesting. But there are also bangers and plenty of paradigm-shifting programming from shows that cemented the all-girl action team, Powerpuff Girls of course, to shows that took cues from anime, like Samurai Jack. And that's not to mention Cartoon Network's Toonami block, which introduced numerous kids to in the US to anime before it captivated a Western audience, which aired Pokemon for many years. CNS was also a major animation studio to spotlight queer characters in the 2010s, especially sapphic romances, laying the groundwork for other animated shows. Adventure Time, which debuted in 2010, ran for 10 seasons, was only recently able to pay off the Bub-Line romance that sparked between Princess Bubblegum and Marceline. Bubline, excuse me. The two flirtatiously met in 2011, Go With Me. Princess Bubblegum later sleeps with Marceline's shirt, and the show's 2018 finale seals the deal with a kiss. 2013's Steven Universe will go on to become one of the most beloved and influential contemporary queer cartoons, with a cast of non-binary crystal gems, numerous gay characters, and a wonderful wedding episode. The steady trickle of LGBTQ+ animated television that can now be found across streaming services owes so much to these Cartoon Network Studios titans. Warner Brothers' own Velma is a lesbian. This would have been unthinkable years ago, even as Hayley Kiyoko, called Lesbian Jesus by her fans, portrayed her in the made-for-television films that aired in 2009 to 2010. Though CNS does still exist after this consolidation, layoffs still have a very real consequence. According to The Daily Beast, a large number of the HBO Max executives laid off in August were people of color. Interesting. Former Warner Brothers employees speculated to the Daily Beast at the time that this was due to an ideological shift, with content steered towards a less diverse and more middle America audience. Now we're seeing changes at an animation studio known for forward-thinking programming. How WBA and CNS will work together is an open question, as well as whether unforgettable envelope-pushing cartoons will remain a priority at a conglomerate with a philosophy built on reality entertainment. Very, very interesting article. But guys, as you can see, Cartoon Network Studios, so far, the time of this recording, is not going anywhere anytime soon. So I would drop the pitchforks. And even when I read articles last night, I kind of was thinking to myself, like, yeah, no, this is not as serious as I think a lot of people. Because here's the thing, is people are just... There was one article, I don't remember what it was. I think it was a comicbook.com article or something, where the article was literally, Cartoon Network is dead. And then it says Warner Brothers cuts... like, it was something, like, so misleading. I had so many people hitting me up and messaging me, like, God, they're canceling Cartoon Network. Why? You know, like it was a disaster. So I just wanted to make this video to just say that Cartoon Network is not, to just pretty much say what the headline says. Cartoon Network is not dead. But where's things going? I don't know. And it looks like people who work there don't even know. So it's all up in the air. Like I said, I'm going to try to talk to some people, see if I can figure out what's going on. But I doubt they even know. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Leave your comments down below, guys. What do you think about this news? This is pretty crazy news, but at the same time, it's just kind of... We knew Cartoon Network was going to get affected by the stuff that's been going on at Warner Brothers Discovery for a while. We knew something had to have happened. Everything else was getting affected. Why would Cartoon Network not? So this is the result in Cartoon Network getting affected. It's not as serious as I thought it would be, but at the same time, who knows? Maybe it could get that way. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.